What's up, gaming world? Welcome to another exciting episode of the Thursday Night Indie Spotlight. This is episode number 29. I'm Ben Boyce. I'm Piccolo930 on PSN and on Twitter. I'm here on behalf of www.shortpause.com. That's the totally rad website that we run. So definitely come there and check us out, see what we're all about. Got a little bit of a late start tonight. Some technical issues and had some stuff going on, so but we're here. We're gonna get the stream started now. If you've never watched the Indie Spotlight before, basically we grab a new indie title that came out on the PlayStation 4 this week, and then we fire it up for an hour or so, play it, see what it's all about, see if it's maybe an under-the-radar gem that we should be paying attention to. Now, tonight's game, as you can see, is Absolute Drift Zen Edition. I've been kind of enthralled with this game ever since I first saw it show up on the PlayStation blog a few weeks back, but it's this very minimalist, modern aesthetic, which I think looks really cool. And if you can hear from the menu music, it appears to have a very kick-ass soundtrack. And you're in a car and you're drifting and it's supposed to be difficult, and I don't know, it just looks like a lot of fun. I love the aesthetic of it, so I've been kind of weirdly entranced by it ever since I first saw it. So now I've been listening to the menu music and we've been setting it up here, and man, this sounds like a soundtrack you're going to want to pick up for sure. But as you can see there, it's brought to us by Fun Selector Labs, published by Flipfly, or co-published by Flipfly on the PS4. Find those guys on Twitter at Flipfly, it's F-L-I-P-P-F-L-Y, and at Fun Selector, F-U-N-S-L-S-E-L-E-K-T-O-R. Follow the game as well on Twitter at Absolute Drift on there. See what it's all about. So we're gonna fire up the game now. See what Absolute Drift is all about. Guess I've been excited to get into this one here. Let's see what we got here. Okay. And if we do free roam, events, garage, I feel like maybe we should do free roam. I mean, it's the first one on here, so I'm guessing maybe this will get us acclimated to the game. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 turns once, but I fear the man who something. Okay. Well, hello. I'm here to become a drifting master. Really? Take these facts with a grain of salt. We require patience and determination. I haven't seen a whole lot about the game yet since it came out, but I have read a few things that said it's difficult, so what's an indie spotlight without a difficult-ass game, right? Well, I sure hope so. Go forth and hit walls. Gently turn, then counter steer. Okay. Oh, okay.
And you just keep coming back to your
Alright. Judging by that first turn, we better drive to the easy one here. Jeez. Spinning out, use less throttle. Alright, let's get a tutorial here and see if we can figure out what the hell is going on. Oh boy. My gosh. Man, how do I keep the drift going? Almost got it for 5 seconds. Reach a ×10 multiplier ×2. Boy. Okay. So that was the tutorial, eh? Okay. Alright, I seriously have no idea what I'm doing here. Looks a little better there, right? Oh, spoke too soon. Well, you really gotta work the throttle here properly. Says I'm supposed to reach a 10 times multiplier ×3. I'm not sure how to get a multiplier. Okay. So that is good for the lower 5%. Awesome. Alright, let's get out of this tutorial here. Having trouble controlling the car? Yes. Go easy on the accelerator and remember to counter steer. Okay. Alright. Tutorial bonus blocks. Sure. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to lay off the gas and try to feather it. Alright, some block smashing. Running into stuff, I'm good at that. Oh. Boy. Jeez. But I apologize, viewers. You guys are in for a long stream tonight. Whew. That was brutal. I did smash 25 blocks, though, which is good enough for the top 20%. Right on. Don't forget the drift. It's the only way to master the game. Good tip. Clipping points. Alright, what is a clipping point? Drift close to the poles, more speed equals more points. Okay. Yep. Pretty much was not close there. Jeez. How close do you gotta get to these things? A little too close on that one. And that one. My gosh. Yeah, let's try and redo that one. Ugh. Gotta get the counter steering down. It's extremely difficult because you've gotta start the drift, you've gotta kind of control the gas, and then you've gotta counter steer in the opposite direction at the right rate. It's very tricky. Too close on that one. Man. Okay, so that's gonna take some getting used to there. Alright, we'll move on here though. And looks like World 1 awaits us. Drift between... Looks like it's almost kind of a drifting playground here. Jump over the plane. Sounds like fun. Woo. Oh. Didn't nail the landing. Okay. Man. Ready to hit the club with this soundtrack. It's pretty awesome. Alright, let's see what this is all about. Drift track Hamamatsu. Alright, so our goals here. Score 60. Reach a 10 times multiplier. Do a 3-second drift. Score 20,000 drift line points. And complete 2 perfect drift lines. Sounds daunting. Let's see what we can do here. Ah. Oh boy. There's the wall. Jeez. Man. My counter steering is terrible. Whew. Well, that was how not to do that track. As I've done in the past, you know, I help you guys out by showing you what not to do. So I'm helping. Let's retry that. Man, I always oversteer there at that part. Yeah, the controls definitely are gonna take a lot of patience and practice to master. The game runs great. I mean, it runs perfectly fine from what I've seen so far. Like I said, super cool aesthetic in this game. I love the minimal aesthetic. Love the just groovy music here. The soundtrack is just kicks ass. I like the color palette. It's a very stylish, cool looking game. It's just, as you can see, it's hard as hell. it's something that's gonna take a lot of patience, a lot of practice to master, but something that appears like it's gonna be quite rewarding when you do finally master it. Just tip brake before entering corners. Ah. And some of you will pick up this game and start to play and be like, man, this thing controls terribly, but you have to, like, it's the way it has to control this way in order for the game to play like this. Oh, just missed it. Just missed a perfect drift. Man. Wow. Not a bad run there. Not a bad run. I didn't get any of the tasks done, but I was much better driving. Alright, let's see what else is around here. Now, this game appears at this point like it could be easily become an addicting experience. Now, I can already feel myself starting to strategize and figure out how I'm gonna drift better. And I like this kind of free roam mode where you can just kind of go and do whatever you want. I mean, it's fun just to drive around and listen to this music. Alright, let's see here. Another drift track up here. Let's see what this one's all about. Drift Kobe. This one looks tough here. Ah. Man, this is a tough track right here. This looks like a more advanced track that I'm on right here. Poor car. Ah, man. Boy, this is brutal. 11,000 points. Wow, that was terrible. Okay. Clearly we're not ready for that track. Man, I wish the tutorial was a little bit better in this game. Like, I wish they kind of taught you how to play this game. There's obviously a lot of nuance to controlling the vehicle and drifting and all this kind of stuff. So I wish there was a little something more than, hey, go on this track and drift for 5 seconds. Uh-oh. So we found that. Oops. There's another X there. So there's 5 of these. Starting to drive a little bit better now. Drifting is still very much a work in progress though. Alright, where's this last X? There it is. There we go. Completed all 6 missions. The bridge is down. Got a new car unlocked too, eh? Let's see what's over on this side. Donuts tutorial. Alright. Drift around the circles. Once again, no idea how to do that. Okay. Boy. Now you would think the tutorial would include some actual tutorial. I don't suppose that's too much to ask. Right? Am I crazy for thinking that? Like the donuts tutorial literally says just drift around the circles. Well, I don't really know how to do that, guys. I mean, I'm just a disaster out here, just running into stuff. Let's give it another whirl. hot. Oh. Almost completed a circle there. You're spinning out a lot. Try going easy on that. Dude, I'm trying to go easy on the accelerator. Now I wonder if maybe go back in here. I wonder if this ghost. Let's watch the world record ghost. Maybe I can get an idea of what I'm supposed to be doing here. And like, how are they doing that? Hey, look at this guy. He's just drifting like a maniac. Look at him. How the hell do you do that? This guy's literally driving sideways. He's still going. I mean, that's unbelievable. Man. Okay, maybe I should get back on this side, see if I can figure out this other stuff before I go over here. What's in this garage here? Let's see what this is all about. What's my new car here? What do you think? Orange with the Rasta stripes? Let's do it. When learning to drift, use as little throttle and steering as possible. Well, man. Yeah, I think you're right, Brent. I think the orange would show off too much damage. But hey, video games, man. In real life, you drive the white car. In games, we'll rock the orange one with the Rasta stripes. Man, like, how do I keep the momentum going through the drift? That's what I gotta figure out. I don't know if I need to like feather the gas or. Let's hop back in this track again and see if we can try and figure out how to drive a little better here. So once again, game seems to be running good. It's fun to play. Very difficult to master. This will not be for those who are not patient. So Brent says he thinks the ideal drift is a combination of feathering and counter steering. I'd say you're probably right. It's just, how do you do that? That's the problem. Look at this guy. I mean, how do they stay driving sideways the whole time? I don't get that. It's incredible. Man, I'm just continuing to spin out here. Come on, dude. Drive straight. Alright, we had a little bit of a better run there. Brake before corners. That's what I gotta figure out how to implement there. Alright, that's a little bit of a better run. Let's give it another go here. Come on, dude. Let's go the right direction. like our worst run yet. Just a terrible display. Ugh, man. That was a disaster. Ugh. Did a 3-second drift that time. Another go. Man, just not even close. Alright, let's hop around here a little bit more. Explore some of the other stuff that's around here. So far, if you are a person who likes to jump into one of these... I'm not even sure I would call this easy to pick up, but it's, you know, it's one of these easy to pick up, difficult to master games. If you like those kind of games and you like spending hours, you know, like trying to really master a game, this is definitely going to be up your alley so far with Absolute Drift here. And you don't even have to be a fan of racing games. You know, just people who like difficult... Just people who like difficult games that they can go in and learn and master. They're gonna dig this game, I think, even if you're not a racing fan. Alright, spin zones. Let's see what this is all about. Spin inside the boxes. See, once again, I don't know how to do that. Know how to spin out inside the boxes. I can probably do that. Just a disaster. Oh, man. Boy. Let's see what World 2 has to offer over here, even though we've yet to master World 1. Man, they've got donut around the crane. That was kind of a donut, right? Man, look at that track right there. Jeez. Hmm. If I can get under the crane here. It's not looking promising. Oh boy. Sure, that counts, right? So the setup here is pretty cool. You know, they kind of have these different open-ended areas, different little mini missions. You know, spin under the crane. You see me as I go through here that you have to complete, and that'll unlock the next part of the kind of open world hub here. Drink milk, sure. I think this is kind of a cool setup for the game here. I just wish the tutorial was better. That's really the main thing. Like, I am truly terrible at this game, and I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing or how to get better. Jump over the water. We can do that, right? This looks like an interesting track here. Let's try this one out. Boy. You're supposed to get close to those, not run them over. Ugh. Man. Well, completed a couple objectives in there. It's good enough for the lower 5%. Ugh. Man, this is a tough game. I'm gonna have to get out there and watch some videos or something on how to actually play this game correctly. Get some tips from some people who are good at this game. I think this would be a good game to come back to. Come back, stream it a few weeks down the line. See if I've made any progress, if I've started to master the game a little bit, if I can actually complete a coherent drift. And these are all kind of things that might be interesting to check in on. Yeah. Yeah, but they've really designed these hub worlds so you can get around here and you can drift to your heart's content. There's lots of obstacles, lots of little things that you can try to maneuver around to hone your skills here. You get a nice pair of headphones or a nice surround sound system, break it out for this game. The tunes on here are really excellent. Alright, I'm gonna give this initial track a whirl one more time here. And then we'll call it a wrap here. Yeah, there's some kind of technique here between, you know, moving the steering wheel or the stick back and forth and feathering the gas, controlling the brake. There seems to be a very, very delicate mix of those items in order to drift properly. You know, the game's trying to give you little hints and stuff around here about braking around the turns and whatnot, but man, in a game this tough, I would like to know a little bit more in terms of the nuance about how to play it. Manual gearing for better control. That's another thing too. You can actually change the transmission in this game from manual to automatic. I have an automatic right now because it's enough to worry about trying to figure out how to drift. I don't want to have to worry about switching gears too. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Thursday Night Indie Spotlight, episode number 29. This has been Absolute Drift Zen Edition. I think it's a fun game. It's very, very, very difficult. It's going to frustrate people. This is not going to be for everybody. But if you're somebody who likes to get into the nitty-gritty of one of these games and really learn the nuances and the mechanics of a difficult game, this is going to be for you. There's lots of skill involved in the drifting. There's you know, lots of stuff you have to do with the control, and there's a precise way to do it, and I haven't figured that out yet. Like I've said a few times on here, this game needs a better tutorial, and that's really what it's lacking right now. The aesthetic, awesome. Love the minimal modern art aesthetic. Love the soundtrack. The soundtrack is really kick-ass. So go out and seek this soundtrack out on the soundtrack service of your choice, because it's definitely worth it. Some really great tracks on here. But this is a game I'd like to play some more of. Like I said, it is fun, though. It's fun to drive around here. It's fun to drift around. I like the way the worlds are set up. I just, I want to get some techniques and figure out what I'm doing here. But, yeah, so that's Absolute Drift. Follow Absolute Drift on Twitter, at Absolute Drift, so get game updates and that kind of stuff on there. Follow, at FlipFly. It's FLIPPFLY. They help publish this game on the PS4. And follow Fun Selector, the developers of this game, FUNSELEKTOR. Follow them on Twitter there. See what they're up to after Absolute Drift Zen Edition. I'm sure they'll be working on support for this game, and who knows what they've got up their sleeve for the future. I'm Ben, Piccolo930 on Twitter and PSN. Our website's www.shortpause.com. Follow us on Twitter at TheShortPause as well. We'll be back next week with another edition of the Thursday Night Indie Spotlight. Find it here on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/shortpauselive. Not sure what we'll be firing up next week. Tune into our podcast, we'll let you know. You should be listening to. It's on iTunes, SoundCloud, and TuneIn Radio. Short Pause Gaming Podcast. Search for it on there. Listen to it. You'll have a great time with it. So until next time, we'll see you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week, 10 p.m. Eastern, Thursday night. Adios.